Hey everyone, welcome to class today. So, today we are going to be talking about something called the main idea. In this lesson, we're going to have two I can statements. Read them out loud with me. Ready? Go. 1. I can say what main idea means. 2. I can find the main idea in a text. Good job. So, this is what you're going to be able to do at the end of this lesson. All right, for number 1, I can say what the main idea means. Who has a guess or knows what does main idea mean? What does main idea mean? Levi. Okay, Adeline. All right, so let's see if you are correct. So, main idea is what the text is all about. Now, who remembers this was one of our vocabulary words? When I say text, am I talking about texting? No, what am I talking about? That's right, I am talking about words. Any group of words is a text, so this is a text. So when we're looking for main idea, we are looking for what a text is all about. So what I want you guys to do is hold up your hands like this. Repeat after me. Main idea. And make this motion while you're doing it. Main idea. Main idea is what the text is all about. Main idea is what the text is all about. Main idea is what the text is all about. Main idea is what the text is all about. So what is main idea? Main idea is what the text is all about. All right, open your reading journals and you'll find a spot that says main idea is. Fill in that blank. Can you say what main idea is? All right, so tell me, what is main idea? Main idea is what the text is all about. All right, so now let's talk about how exactly we find the main idea, what the text is all about. So let's start with Matthew. We've been doing lots of research on different animals. What is the animal that you've been researching? Bear. Awesome. Matthew, tell us some facts about a bear. Perfect. Thank you, Matthew. All right, so Matthew gave us lots of facts about a bear, and I want to figure out what is the main idea of what Matthew was talking about. What is one phrase that I can say that summarizes or tells us what is the main idea of what Matthew talked about? So Matthew says that bears hibernate, bears are carnivores, and that bears are different colors. So if I said that Matthew, the main idea is that Matthew talked about is that bears are carnivores. Is that true? Adeline, is that all he talked about? No, what else did he talk about? Perfect. Yes, he talked about how they're carnivores, how they're different colors. If I said the main idea is that Matthew told us all about all different animals, is that true? No, Matthew, you're right. You only talked about bears. So the main idea of what Matthew talked about is facts about bears. He gave us 3 facts about bears. That was the main idea. Facts about bears. So when we're looking at the main idea, we want to include everything that the author talked about. But we also don't want to include stuff he didn't talk about. We want to come up with a phrase that tells us what the author was talking about. So let's look at this passage here. Read it in your head as I read it out loud. Mars is a planet that is far away. It is red and is next to Earth in the sky. It has no water and is very dusty. One day, people want to visit Mars. Right now, we can only look at it with a telescope. All right, so I'm trying to find the main idea in this text. All right, so I have some options. Go ahead and think in your head, what do you think maybe the main idea is going to be? Can you guess what I'm going to write? What I'm going to say? All right, so all about Mars. So help me, let's see, as I'm looking at these, option D says all about the stars. Well, I want to go back and look at my passage because we always go back and look at our passage. Let's see, it says, is it a planet that's far away? It's red next to the Earth. Does anyone see anything about stars? No, I don't see anything about stars either. So I know the main idea is what the text is all about. Is the text all about stars? No. Can't be that one. All right, C says all about all of the planets. Let's go back where? Go back to the text. All right, so, it says the word planet, but is it all about all the planets? Let me see. Okay, good point. It does mention Earth, but does it tell us about Earth or just that it is next to Mars? Okay. So it doesn't give me facts about really any other planets besides Mars. So I know the main idea cannot be all of the planets. So it's not all about the stars. It can't be all about all the planets. All right, B, there's no water on Mars. Let's go back to the text. Well, it says right here, there's no water on Mars. But then, is that all it talks about? It talks about lots of other things. It says Mars is red, so I know that can't be the main idea. So what's the only option that's left? A, all about Mars. But just because there's one option left, does that mean it's the right one? Probably, but I want to check. Okay, so let's see, is the main idea all about Mars? Does it give, is everything in the text facts about Mars? Mars is a planet, Mars is red, Mars is next to Earth, no water on Mars. People want to visit Mars. We can look at Mars in a telescope. Yes! So my answer is the main idea of my text is all about Mars. Who thought that was the main idea? Right? All right, before I move on, does anyone have any questions? Okay, good question. So for B, we know it cannot be B because even though it says there's no water on Mars, look right here. Mars is a planet that is far away. Does that sentence have to do with there's no water on Mars? No. So that's why it's not the main idea. That was a good question. All right, let's read this next passage. Read it with me in your head as I read it out loud. One day I am going to be a cowboy. Right now, I am only a boy, but when I grow up, I will ride horses. I will be the fastest cowboy in the world. As I sit on my horse, I will wave to all of the people. I will be the best cowboy ever. All right, so this boy wants to be a cowboy when he grows up. So now I need to find the main idea. All right, so I'm going to start with D. A boy wants to be, well, before I do that, pause. I want you to get in your reading notebook and write down, what do you think is the main idea? Think in your head A, B, C, and D. A is cowboys lived a long time ago. B, all the different jobs you can have. C, astronauts fly in the sky. Or D, a boy wants to be a cowboy. And what is main idea? Main idea is what the text is all about. So which of these are what the text is all about? All right. Now that you've written your answer down, let's see. Okay, so I want to look back and let's start again with D. A boy wants to be a cowboy. So he says, one day I'm going to be a cowboy. Right now, he's a boy who wants to be a cowboy. Okay. He talks about how he'll be the fastest cowboy, sit on a horse. That looks like it might be an option. All right, let's leave D. Let's look at C. Astronauts fly in the sky. Let's look back at the text. Does anyone see an astronaut in this text? No, I did not either. Okay, so I know I can cross out astronauts fly in the sky. All right, our next one is all the different jobs you can have. Well, I know cowboy is a job, but do you see any other jobs? No, I don't see any other jobs either. So I know the text cannot be all about the different jobs I can have. So I know that can't be the main idea. Ooh, here's one about cowboys. Cowboys lived a long time ago. Let's see. Well, I think that's the right answer. I'm going to say the right answer is cowboys lived a long time ago. Raise your hand if you think I am correct. All right, raise your hand if you think I'm incorrect. What is the mistake I made? Well, I did not go back to the text. I did not think this one through. I just knew I had A left and D left, and I wanted to circle A. Got to go back to the text. Let's see. Well, he says he wants to be a cowboy, but the whole thing isn't how cowboys lived a long time ago. What's the whole thing about? Thank you. It is about how a boy wants to be a cowboy. boy. So I was wrong. The correct answer is D. A boy wants to be a cowboy. Perfect. All right, and that is the end of the I do section of my lesson. So at this point, they can already say that main idea is what the text is all about. That was our first I can statement. And then I finished the I can section of the lesson for I can find the main idea in the text. So then I have this text right here off of the K5 Learning website that goes through the topic of main idea. And so what we would do is for the we do, I would have this paragraph right here. We would read it as a class, and then we would figure out what is the main idea of this first paragraph. And we would work together. I would have the students do most of the work, different than how I did last time, for them to figure out if it's A, B, or C is the main idea. Then we'd go to the second paragraph right here, where I would have them work in groups. So depending on the size of the group I'm working in, maybe they could be in 2s or 3s to read this and figure out what is the main idea. And then we'd come together, figure out if they're right or wrong, why. After each one, we're covering any questions. Then we're going to go over this last one right here. This third paragraph right here. And they're going to do this all by themselves. So figure out what is the main idea of this third paragraph. Then we're going to come back, talk about why. I'm going to have the kids discuss why they thought each one was. And then for this last one, they're going to read that paragraph, answer what is the main idea, and that will be their assessment. They'll turn into me to make sure I know that they got it. So throughout this, I have lots of different formative assessments. You'll see I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm having them repeat and do a lot of things with me so I know they're paying attention. For the main idea, I would also have them write in their reading journal, main idea is what the story is all about. The reason why I'm having them do that is so that I know when they are looking for when a question asks them, what is the main idea of a text? They'll know what they're looking for, and what exactly they are doing in the first place. Because a lot of times we use terms like main idea, and students don't really know what we're trying to mean by that. And so that is how I would do it. As far as differentiation, if I have a student who has ADHD, or really for most students right here, having this big block of text when we're only concentrating on one paragraph at a time might be a little confusing. I would probably put this in a format where they're only looking at one paragraph at a time so they don't get overwhelmed by this big text early on in the school year when that's not necessary. For students who are ELLs, I'll probably give them this text ahead of time to look over with their teacher, with their learning coach, with whoever is helping them with that. For a student who might have a visual disability, I would probably give them this text in a way to make sure that they can listen to it on their iPad or whatever else they can use to best figure it out. For a student who might have a learning disability, this text particularly, I might have to give them it a little simpler or read it to them, or again, like the student with a visual disability, make sure they have the technology to have it read to them. And that is my lesson for today. Thank you very much.